act makes it more feel like they can share their ideas, that they can speak freely. We will never be able to solve all the other problems, including the violence problems that people are worried about, if we can't have a clash of ideas safely and securely. Even, especially those ideas with which you disagree. That's why this matters so much. Over the last 48 hours, I have been as angry as I have ever been.
Boo-hoo, call me a river.
As sad as I have ever been.
No, you don't.
And it was, as anger pushed me to the brink, it was actually Charlie's words that pulled me back. I'd like to share some of those. And specifically right now, if I could, I need to talk to the young people in our state, in my state, and all across the country. As President Trump reminded me, he said, you know who really loved Charlie? The youths. He's right. Young people.
Shit, I couldn't tell.
And young people hated Charlie. And
I can tell that.
Charlie went into those places anyway. And these are the words that have helped me. Charlie said, when people stop talking, that's when you get violence. He said the weak can never
not
forgive.
really.
Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. The only way out of the labyrinth of suffering is to forgive. Welcome without judgment, love without condition, forgive without limit. He said, always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much. A few months ago, I referenced this last night, Charlie posted to social media, when things are moving very fast and people are losing their minds, it's important to stay grounded. Turn off your phone, read scripture, spend time with friends, and remember, internet fury is not real life. It's going to be okay. He again said, when you stop having a human connection with someone you disagree with, it becomes a lot easier to commit violence. He said, what we as a culture have to get back to is being able to have a reasonable agreement, where violence is not an option. Now, again, to my young friends out there, you are inheriting a country where politics feels like rage. It feels like rage is the only option.
Shout out to Rook earlier in the chat. Make sure
at this time have any information that would lead to an arrest. Yes, but the investigation is ongoing. Yes, so right now, Robinson has been booked into the Utah County Jail. You heard the president this morning report that he was taken into custody, that his family.
Oh man, the box is fucking disgusting. Box right here with the card and everything, bro. Please, God, let me get this right here.
I don't know where Washington County is. It is the southwesternmost part of the state of Utah. It's about a 4-hour drive from here, where we are right now, and that's where he lived and where they turned him. Please, I'll go here. I can't share any more. So I don't have much more details on that. And then we had his car going south back to the St. George. It's actually the city of Washington in Washington County. I'm sorry.
So from the highest levels of this government, we all need to just put our differences aside and stop with this rhetoric. We can do it, you and I can do it, but I really hope, most importantly, our elected officials in and around the country can stop with this rhetoric on both sides, every part of the aisle, and we get back to,
Yo, my service on, bro.
Humanity here, and so these people don't feel empowered to.
Welcome everybody to the chat early.
Tim, with your Secret Service experience, and I want you to detail
Make sure
it
you
for us
guys
so
are
maybe the
tuned
average
in to the
person does not
nonsense.
understand what it takes to carry out safety and security, not only for the person that might be speaking at these type of political or school events, but also for those that are attending, in this case, students and faculty on the campus. So if we look back in time, we look back to the political season at that time. Former President Donald Trump, we remember that tragic day where someone scaled a roof and then shot him in the ear, and so many people posing that question: how did this happen? How did Secret Service miss this? How did law enforcement not know to be on the roof already so that this doesn't happen? Months later, we are now in 2025, and we see the worst has happened to
yet again.
Charlie Kirk. It wasn't an ear; he lost his life.
This time.
Are you seeing that strides are being made to make sure this doesn't happen again, or
course
are you
not.
seeing a stop point to where people are just assuming that it's already done? Maybe law enforcement, they aren't all on the same page. Paint that picture for us, please, because a lot of unanswered question as it relates to how did this happen in the first place?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So, I'm retired from the Secret Service, so I don't want to speak to what they're doing at this time. But I know that they've learned from that horrible experience in Butler, Pennsylvania, and they're only going to be stronger moving forward for
You don't want to speak on it, but yet you're here speaking on it, saying they're going to get stronger. They are getting stronger.
From a level of
Come on, you might as well just say no comment.
Is protected by typically retired federal agents or local law enforcement. But what needs to happen is the holistic approach of a good security advance, and that starts with threat intelligence. And an individual like Mr. Kirk, you conduct an open source threat intelligence summary, and you can tell that the threat is high. Then that dictates how you approach these sites. And we're looking at some footage here of Utah Valley University, and you need to conduct a site assessment. And I've never been there, but there's high ground everywhere. You spend some time, a day, a week prior, and you create that site assessment. Then you create an advanced document for the actual visit. And everything we've been told is they had 6 security officers from the university there. Then obviously Mr. Kirk had his own detail. But for that magnitude of that crowd and the high ground exposure and a lot of the vulnerabilities there, the proper techniques weren't put in place, in my opinion, based on what I've heard, to mitigate that threat. And it just goes back to being proactive and doing the work before the event actually occurs.
Tim, thank you so much for that detailed breakdown. We are getting new images just into live now from Fox. We finally have that side-by-side booking photo. As mentioned in that press conference, the suspect on your screen identified as 22-year-old from Utah, Tyler Robinson. He has been booked into the Utah County Jail. What's next, Tim? Obviously, many people thinking he will not be able to get any type of bond. He will remain there until that first court appearance.
Yeah, I mean, everything it sounds like, especially with the director of the FBI being there, typically a murder case would be held, or prosecuted by the state prosecutors, but I would imagine they're going to come with some federal charges as well, and I'm sure he'll see the full weight of the Department of Justice coming his way, sooner than later.
And we appreciate your thorough breakdown and your perspective as we continue to learn more. Obviously, you did mention a lot of questions about a potential manifesto. So obviously, even though we did hear this press conference from the FBI director, Utah governor, other law enforcement agencies, this is not the end. Honestly, it's the beginning of what we will further know in the coming days and maybe even months. For those that are wanting to know what's next, for those that are wanting to know where do we go from here, could you provide any final words to the viewers?
Yes, we have to be patient as citizens. We live in this environment now where we get everything instantly. Let's let the judicial process, play out. And this is exactly. I never met Mr. Kirk, but everything he talked about, from my perspective as well. Let the Constitution work. Let this individual have his due process, and let the investigation continue. And then like I mentioned previously, let the full weight of the Department of Justice come at him, and I'm sure he will get what he deserves.
Tim Rebele, again, thank you so much for being so patient. You literally stayed on the feed as we both listened in real time with the viewers as that press conference unfolded. It was initially slated to start at 9 o'clock this morning Eastern time, then AP pushing it back to 9:30. Then it finally started around 10:05 Eastern time. But as you are well aware with your line of work, law enforcement agencies having to all get on the same page as information is relayed to the media. Again, thank you so much for your thorough breakdown. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. And as we continue to follow the very latest of this developing story, take a look at your screen. The latest from Vice President J.D. Vance on this Friday following that press conference that you saw right here on Live Now from Fox. He provides this quote on X, formerly known as Twitter. It says, quote, "I am grateful to Governor Spencer Cox, Utah law enforcement, Kash Patel, and the FBI for giving this case the time, resources, and hard work it deserved. This is a big breakthrough, and everyone who helped, from the law enforcement professionals to the people giving tips, deserves our credit and gratitude. In some ways, the investigation is still in the early days, but I do believe we have the shooter in custody. Say a prayer for Erica Yerk and those two beautiful babies. We took a big step this morning in getting justice for Charlie and for his family." He concludes by saying, "Thanks be to God for that." So again, that is the very latest from VP J.D. Vance on this Friday morning as we are learning in real time the very latest. If you're just now tuning in, I want to get back to the shooter as we are learning more information. I do want to share this tweet really briefly, though. They're from Meg Nard out of Orem, Utah, with the Associated Press. They report a Utah governor calling Kirk killing attack on the American experiment, urging new generation to choose a different path. And as I did mention that to you in that press conference, again, popping that mugshot back up, that just into Live Now from Fox, that side-by-side booking photo as we are learning the suspect in custody and connected with that assassination of Charlie Kirk is 22-year-old from Utah, identified there as Tyler Robinson. I will tell you in that press conference, as we were learning from Meg with the Associated Press, that the Utah governor is calling the Kirk killing, quote, attack on the American experiment. He did have some emotional words in that press conference where he did say, quote, "Is this the end of a dark chapter or the beginning of a darker chapter in history?" And we also posed that question right here on Live Now from Fox as we are working to learn the very latest. As we do so, I do want to catch you up if you're just now tuning in. Good morning to you. I'm Jeanne Francine. The time now 10:51 here on the East Coast. We will continue with this thorough and detailed coverage on this Friday. For those of you all who might not be well versed with the tragic situation that unfolded on Utah's campus, I do want to share with you a quick graphic. It's a timeline of Charlie Kirk's murder. Take a look at your screen. We are learning that the 31-year-old was killed September 10th at Utah Valley University. That detailed timeline, and we're going to go through it together. At 12:09 p.m. Mountain Time, Charlie Kirk walks on stage for his, quote, America Comeback Tour. This was a tour where he was expected to go across several college campuses and universities across America. We've even seen people join him for this tour, special guests. Then at 12:23 p.m. Mountain Time, Charlie Kirk shot with a single bullet on stage. He was immediately taken to a local hospital. 12:52 p.m. Mountain Time, University Police and Orem Police Department, that's that local Utah Police Department there in Orem, Utah, they announced they are investigating the shooting. Then at 2:40 p.m. Mountain Time, President Donald Trump announcing Charlie Kirk has died on Truth Social. The commander-in-chief not mincing words as it relates to this tragedy, as he says that he and Charlie Kirk were close as it relates to making America great again. Those are his exact words. So we are going to continue to follow the very latest. Of course, as you can imagine, people across America sharing some words about what they are calling the tragic murder of Charlie Kirk. I want to share with you some of the latest responses coming out of Los Angeles.
Yo, I just won the fucking Yu-Gi-Oh sneakers, bro.
Well, I listen to it all the time, and yeah, just to, unfortunately, I saw the footage of him being shot, and you know, you always pray for those things that, there's things that you wish you didn't see. And that's one of the things that I wish I would have not seen. I can't unsee it. And only because really his platform was for free speech, for whether we agree or not agree, or whether we like it or not like it, to be able to say it, to be able to express our opinion and our view, regardless of other, you know, that's why we live in this great country, so we could have that freedom to voice out our opinions, our views. And that seems to be silencing him seems to be the predominant theme. I really can't talk right now. I'm just grief-stricken.
What kind of emotions were you feeling?
Heartbroken that brother of faith had to.
A brother of faith, bro. This shit is just so mind-boggling to me, man. Okay, you believe in God, I get it. That's what's up, man. So do I.
First and foremost,
But to just go out there and say you hate, come on, man.
Psalms 13, because just as David was asking God why, he was in deep anguish. He trusted God in the end. And that's all we can do right now, and that's what God expects of us. He expects us to lean on him.
What part of LA are you guys from?
East LA.
East LA?
Yeah.
I think my last thing, just you'll see the comments on social media, right? There's a lot of hate directed towards Charlie Kirk for whatever reason. How do you respond to those people that maybe think that Charlie Kirk wasn't doing the right stuff?
To them, I would say that the same God that he preached about, and as far as love, that's the same God that loves them. Again, we go back to, do we agree with him? Do we hate him? Do we love him? Whether we hate him or love him, he was pretty much just trying to make a point about you're free to hate him.
How gays are no good.
To hate somebody. But that hatred should never lead you to pick up a weapon and to make it a person's demise.
Wasn't this the same guy that was in those jails and where they're holding those MS-13 people and shit like that? Wasn't this the same person? One of the same people that was over there recording with his personal cell phone so he could possibly go back and show his friends, like, oh, look at these thugs, look at these criminals. Wasn't he one of those guys that was in those facilities recording, again, like I said, with his personal cell phone, laughing at other people's pain?
I don't think his message was so much of hate, other than the fact that
I'm not sending a message out saying thank God he's dead. No, I'm not. You guys are confusing that.
Politics, because one of his quotes that he says, me being a minority, he said there is nothing that a person of minority can't do that a person who's not a minority. So this is a land of opportunity, and we can take the opportunities that we're giving and run with them, or we could not.
The opportunities that were given or the opportunities that we earned.
You know, and I think his clear message, even though he didn't agree with, I don't know, I guess the left-leaning culture, he wasn't spreading hate. But a lot of people can take it as hate. You know, I can say something right here and somebody will take it as hate. And I'm not hating on anybody. I'm just grieving the loss of a great man.
Of a great man. You're gonna put this man
All right, so that was the very latest
next to
of
Dr.
Marcelinos
King?
reacting to Charlie Kirk's death, and as I mentioned, across.
I'm sorry, but I have a problem with that. Even Malcolm X, as gritty as he was,
about the death
he
and
still
assassination of
spoke
Charlie
on
Kirk. Take a look at your screen, the latest
how
from the commander
some
in
white
chief,
people were good, how
President
some
Trump
white
saying the
people
suspect
were not
arrested,
bad.
in the Kirk murder. Quote, I think
This
with
guy,
a high degree of certainty,
Charlie Kirk,
we have him in custody. Now,
was
that
talking
announcement
about how
was made
certain groups of
about
people
hours
are
or
just,
so before we
you know what I'm
had
saying?
live FBI
or all
and law
people. Like, you know what I
enforcement
mean?
updates
Like,
here on Live Now from Fox. He made that announcement with our content
maybe it's
partners
just
over at
me,
Fox
man.
and Friends
Maybe I
during
gotta
the
do
live
my
broadcast.
homework
Take
some
a
more.
listen.
And again, I apologize if I'm not getting certain things correct
Can
to
I
my
always say,
peoples,
I
because I
think
always
just
want to
to
get
protect
shit
us
correct
all,
on here. I don't
so
want to be, you know
Fox
what I
doesn't
mean?
get sued,
One of
we all
those.
don't get sued and everything else, but I think
But like the gentleman just said,
with a high
weeping.
degree of certainty, we
Just
have
because I
him
say something doesn't mean I
in
hate.
custody, okay? In custody.
Well, how are you
Everyone
saying
did
it,
a
my
great
guy?
job. We worked with the
How are
local
you,
police, the
you know what
governor.
I'm saying, putting it out
Everybody did a
there?
great job. You know, getting somebody that you start off with absolutely nothing. And we started off with a clip that made him look like an ant that was almost useless. We just saw there was somebody up there. And so much work has been done over the last 2.5 days. You know, it's amazing, actually, when you start off with that and then all of a sudden you get lucky or talent or whatever it is. But, yeah, I think we're in great shape. And he's in custody.
All right, so again, you just heard there here on Live Now from Fox, the latest from the Commander-in-Chief, as he says, quote, he does suspect that the shooter is in custody. We did learn from that press conference that, in fact, the man on your screen in that mugshot, Tyler Robinson, they say, quote, full of hate before Charlie Kirk shooting, that coming from family, friends. And we are learning that the suspect there on your screen has been booked into the Utah County Jail. We're told he was turned in by a family member and a family friend. So a lot to dissect. And as we are looking at response from around the world,
By a family member and a family friend.
Los Angelinos,
I mean,
they
it doesn't
got
get
emotional,
any.
saying they considered Charlie Kirk a
That's
man
your
of faith. I want to
family.
transition to give you this live look out in Phoenix, Arizona.
Family.
It's a view of Turning Point
Got turned in by his
Phoenix,
family
the announcement
members,
came in that
bro.
the
That's
suspect is in
hilarious.
custody in the assassination of
That's
Charlie
hilarious.
Kirk. You can see a memorial set up there. We've
Why
seen
is
this
that so
Friday and more
funny?
time people coming
Because
out
all I
making
preach about
you
on
see
my
them there
channel
on your
is
screen, balloons, flowers,
forget family, forget a
written
friend.
statements, even some stuffed animals. I do want to pause the
Family,
audio
yo,
really
family's
briefly to
not
see if we can
family and
hear
friends are
anything
not
on
your
this beat,
friends,
just to
man. They
set
are
the tone
associates.
of what's going on
And
out
just
in
because
Turning
your
Point.
blood doesn't make you family. Alright? I'm still tripping the fact that they're gonna make a memorial of him in the White House, and he next to the great Martin Luther King, bro. Like, I cannot believe we are comparing these two gentlemen. Man. I just can't, man. I just really can't. Are you mourning over the fact how he got murdered, or you actually like the dude? And if I gotta say something, man, if I gotta,
there at Turning Point headquarters in Phoenix, the suspect has been identified
it's like,
in the Charlie Kirk
I haven't
murder.
seen
Some are
no
saying murder,
youths
some are even
go
saying
over there. You know what I'm
assassination.
saying? I haven't
As the
seen no youths
videographer
like
pans in, we do see words there
praise his name
erected
just
across the
yet, bro.
front
I've
of
seen
Turning
older
Point
people,
Action headquarters. It says,
people
quote,
my
may
age,
Charlie be
but the
received
youth,
into the
nah.
merciful arms of Jesus, our loving Savior. That there on your screen. We want to
could
get
just
back
be
to
me,
the
man. I'm
very
telling you, it
latest
could just be
development. We will continue to follow the very latest as it relates to developing information. If you are just now tuning in,